line. Countless soldiers and survivors were firing intensely, the tongues of fire illuminating the battlefield, resembling a scene from a movie. Today, there were even more monsters than before. Looking ahead, Wang Cheng saw that the street corner they were responsible for defending was densely packed with mutated creatures, stretching endlessly. Their speed was incredibly fast, charging forward under heavy fire. And even though they had built a tight fire network, it was still insufficient to intercept them completely. Occasionally, some managed to slip through the overlapping fire net, approaching and howling as they launched their attacks. At this moment, the Awakeners played their role. Wu Haiqing took the lead, charging at the forefront. His combat power was not to be underestimated. To Wang Cheng's surprise, Wu Haiqing turned out to be a rare metal ability user. When he attacked, his body shone with golden light, resembling a golden-bodied warrior, yet his methods were brutally fierce, opening and closing like a slaughter god. Those mutated creatures, which could easily tear a person apart, became targets to be ripped apart in front of Wu Haiqing. His physical strength and power clearly exceeded that of ordinary people. After enhancement, he could not only withstand the flesh of mutated creatures, but could even crush them in terms of physical strength and combat ability. His actions became the focal point on the battlefield, and many people shouted his name in support. The enhanced ability itself showcased his bravery and ferocity. Being one of the strongest Awakeners at the Survivor gathering point, alongside others like Qin Hai, was not just empty talk. At this moment, a creature whose original shape was completely unrecognizable emerged from the crowd of mutants. It was muscular, 5 meters long, and its entire body was covered in twisted, blood-red, mutated muscles. It charged out at high speed, moving on all fours like a cheetah across the battlefield. Bullets from rifles struck its body but failed to penetrate its flesh. Accompanied by deafening howls and roars, it leaped high, soaring over the low iron fence and crashing into the defensive formation behind, instantly creating chaos and carnage. An ordinary awakened individual who attempted to stop it was effortlessly slashed in half by its blade-like tail, blood and flesh flying everywhere. Wu Haiqing rushed forward with his men, confronting the creature with sheer physical strength, but he was overwhelmed, completely suppressed by its power. He was struck by one of its claws, causing his chest to rip open as he was sent flying, immediately sustaining injuries. Everyone was astonished and instinctively retreated. The creature howled and charged directly toward Wang Cheng and his group. The surrounding gunfire intensified as Wang Cheng swiftly threw a tactical grenade, rolled to gain momentum, and darted past the beast, delivering a thunderous punch while shouting, "Old 3. Boom. The explosion of the grenade obscured Wang Cheng's figure, and at that moment, he struck with a powerful punch. Enhanced by second-level strength serum, this punch landed squarely on the creature's abdomen. Flesh and blood rolled as Wang Cheng almost smashed its belly, sending the creature flying. It crashed to the ground, unable to rise. While Wu Haiqing, known for his strength, was completely overpowered, Wang Cheng's power had decisively crushed the beast. This was the effectiveness of the second-level strength serum. Meanwhile, Zhang Chao coordinated closely, launching fireballs to finish off the creature, ultimately blowing its head apart. The massive body twitched once and then lay still. Thanks to the cover of the grenade, visually, it appeared as if Wang Cheng's attack had been concealed, making it look like the monster was taken down by the grenade and Zhang Chao's strike. Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, who could investigate what truly happened? At that moment, as the creature wreaked havoc, more mutated beings surged in, and Zhang Chao quickly engaged, showcasing his abilities. In this battle, Zhang Chao shone brightly, demonstrating extraordinary combat prowess as an awakened individual. Wang Qi was surprised, not expecting Zhang Chao to be an awakened one as well. However, Wang Cheng and Su Xinghai remained composed, as this was part of their plan to leverage the situation to promote Zhang Chao. As Wang Cheng had anticipated, after the battle, both the Research Institute and the military approached Zhang Chao with invitations. Even Wu Haiqing personally visited him, saying, "No wonder, you have 3 awakened individuals and 1 such expert. I see that your brother's flame abilities are not much different from Qin Hai's." His gaze shifted to Wang Cheng. Zhang Chao had now become the center of attention, but he still sought out Wang Cheng. Wu Haiqing felt that Wang Cheng and his group were operating in a peculiar manner, hinting at their extraordinary nature. After a moment of silence, he said, "I heard you are new here. If there's anything you don't understand or need help with, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to make your acquaintance." Wu Haiqing's tone changed quickly. Last time, he was considering recruiting Wang Cheng as a subordinate, but this time he took the initiative to befriend him and offer help. This reflects the difference between having power and not having it. Wang Cheng indeed needed Wu Haiqing's assistance, and he didn't hold back, directly stating, "I actually have one thing. If you're willing to help, that would be great. I need to buy fuel." Wang Cheng's warship consumed a lot of fuel, and the military supplies allocated to them did not include fossil fuels. Purchasing from other survivors yielded very little at a time. Since Wu Haiqing was familiar with the area and took the initiative, Wang Chung expressed his needs directly. Wu Haiqing was slightly taken aback, then laughed heartily. That's easy to handle. How much do you need? He genuinely wanted to befriend Wang Chung and acted quickly, procuring a large amount of fossil fuel for him. Wang Chung manually refueled his warship, filling its energy reserves once again, with a few barrels left temporarily stored in the vehicle. Meanwhile, Zhang Chao finally entered the research institute to undergo studies and tests by relevant experts and professors. They did not discover that Zhang Chao was not an awakened individual. From Zhang Chao, Wang Chung learned more intelligence about the research institute. In fact, there were not many experts studying awakeners within the institute building. Some projects even involved researching mutated organisms together, resulting in slow progress. Most research was still in the data accumulation phase. However, the institute was indeed highly regarded, equipped with all necessary facilities, even providing hot water, rice, and vegetables. Wang Chung understood this situation well because he knew that while those experts could not fight, if they made groundbreaking progress, they could potentially address the root causes of mutated organisms, which would be more effective than countless soldiers. Zhang Chao did not forget his own goals, and while cooperating with the tests, he subtly brought Wang Chung a lot of information. The connections between Haiqing, Fengtian, and even the central government in Kyoto were intermittent, with calls lasting only a few minutes every few days. It was said that the situation nationwide, even globally, was dire. In the Kyoto area, there had even been reports of level 8 mutated organisms. In just a month, over 70% of the global population had perished, and the remaining people were suffering greatly. Because of this, it was difficult for Haiqing to receive reinforcements, and they had to rely on themselves to survive. As for Fengtian, as a provincial capital, it seemed to have stabilized amidst the chaos of the apocalypse. Although it had also suffered heavy losses, it had gathered a large number of survivors. Zhang Chao said, I asked around, and the situation in Fengtian should be better than ours. Uncle and aunt might have been rescued to the Fengtian survivor base. That would be the best-case scenario. Wang Chung understood that the situation might not be so optimistic, but receiving this news still gave him a bit of comfort. This way, the chances of his parents surviving were higher. But he knew that his parents had no special skills, and even if they went to the survivor base, they would probably be just like the refugees outside. He had to speed up. During the day, Wang Chung hunted mutated creatures more desperately. After arriving here for 7 days, the total amount of energy points in Wang Cheng's possession surged, directly breaking through the 700-point mark. With 900 energy points, a level 3 battleship was within reach. Zhang Chao also brought back news about a precious female awakener from the Research Institute, who was from the military and had undergone modification experiments. Already nearing the level 2 awakening, much stronger than Qin Hai and others, being the first awakener in Haiqing. Upon hearing this news, Wang Chung sighed. It still has to be a soldier. How many ordinary survivor awakeners would dare to undergo modification experiments? Wang Chung had heard about a formidable woman in the Haiqing base before, and he respected her a bit. However, on the 8th day after arriving at the temporary survivor gathering point in Haiqing, Zhang Chao brought another shocking piece of news. I heard from the Research Institute that the military is about to abandon Haiqing and organize everyone to evacuate to Pingfeng Mountain to establish a new survivor base there. This information was soon confirmed through Wu Haiqing. Wu Haiqing had been here longer, was well-connected, and had a lot of information. Wang Chung found it hard to understand. The situation at the Haiqing temporary survivor gathering point was clearly manageable, so why evacuate? Wu Haiqing only pointed to the sky. Have you noticed that the clouds in the sky haven't moved for a long time? Wang Chung was suddenly startled by this remark. There was something wrong with the clouds in the sky. Chapter 77. The Great Evacuation of the City. The clouds in the sky hadn't moved for a long time. Wu Haiqing didn't know more. In his words, the rest of the people he knew were also unclear, and those who knew wouldn't say. After leaving Wu Haiqing, Wang Chung gazed at the sky. The sky over Haiqing was shrouded in dark clouds. It seemed that since the outbreak of the apocalypse, most of the time had been like this, with dark clouds covering the sky. Except for the initial few days when he had seen sunlight. He hadn't seen it much since. However, in these apocalyptic times, who could afford to observe the changes in the clouds every day? Wang Chung was the same. He only remembered seeing sunlight very rarely, yet he found it hard to judge whether the clouds were the same as those from a few days ago. Normally, the wind speed at the cloud level is much greater than at the ground level. Clouds could not remain still, they would be blown away by the wind, and would either condense into rain or completely evaporate with temperature changes. They could not remain immobile. Wang Chung inexplicably thought of that invisible creature he had encountered in the clouds, and the military had indeed never deployed fear. What was up in the sky? A sudden sense of inexplicable panic arose in his heart. What on earth was happening in this world? Could it be that even the sky they lived under every day had become dangerous and unfamiliar? The military and the Research Institute must know something, but they were on high alert and unwilling to disclose it. Wang Chung took a deep breath and quickly regained his composure. He knew that now was not the time to panic. The military